Hi everyone, so my name is Audra Gillespie and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to film something a little bit different, or I'm going to be doing 56 deep questions to ask yourself in your 20s. So I actually got this idea from Kenzie Elizabeth's podcast, I Love You So Much podcast. She did it on a solo episode a couple weeks ago and I thought it was very interesting, and I'm 23, so I wanted to ask myself these questions, but I also thought it would be a good chance for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. I usually don't do these types of videos. I typically vlog or just kind of do more everyday lifestyle videos. So I thought this would be a good way for people to like really get to know me a little bit better, and for me to get to know myself a little bit better. So yeah, and by the way, I will link the article down below, and I might not answer every single question just because it's 56 questions and I don't have that much space left on my card right now, but I'm gonna try to like keep it interesting and pick through the good ones. Okay, so number one, do I believe that everything is meant to be, or do I think that things just tend to happen for no reason at all? I'm kind of in the middle on this one. I feel like I tell myself that things are meant to be just because that brings me comfort, but sometimes I do think that there's scenarios where things just happen for no reason and you can't control it. So I don't know, I would say I'm in the middle. Number two, do I forgive and forget, or do I forgive but always remember? I would say I probably forgive and forget. I typically don't hold a grudge. I really just don't have the time for that. And I typically, if I'm gonna forgive somebody, I will fully forgive them. I don't play games and try to pretend like I'm forgiving them, but then secretly hold a grudge towards them. So yeah, I would say I tend to forgive and forget. Okay, number three, if I could give one piece of advice to everyone in the world, what would it be? I would say probably just to work on your relationship with yourself, work to be more self-aware, because at the end of the day, the most important relationship you have is the relationship you have with yourself. Number four, do I think that people can change, or that they're just who they are? I do think people can change, but I don't think that you can change a person. So I think if somebody is wanting to change, then they can change, and they can kind of like find that, put that effort in from within, and they can kind of like fuel themselves to change. But if you're wanting somebody to change and they don't want to change, then I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna kind of skip around a little bit. Would my 10-year-old self be proud of me? Yeah, probably. I don't really know what my 10-year-old self wanted out of life, but I think she would be happy that I have a fiance and that I live in a city, because I know when I was younger I just always wanted to live in the city. I always wanted to live downtown and close to kind of like the happening part of an area. So I think I would be excited about that. I think I would be excited that I graduated college. I don't know if I ever really saw college in my future until I was like very late high school. So I think I would be surprised by that as well. So yeah, I would say my 10-year-old self would be proud of me. 7, what do I think is the best revenge? Probably no revenge. Don't have time for that. 8, what would I change about myself? I would probably change my temper whenever I'm stressed out. I think Kenzie, who I mentioned earlier, I think she actually said this, but I would totally agree for myself. Hold on, my dog's about to bark because there's people walking by. Whenever I'm stressed or feel overwhelmed, I start to lash out on the people that I'm closest with. So especially my fiance who I live with. And it used to be, I used to lash out on my mom when I was stressed out, and I just get very panicky and kind of flustered and start to take it out on other people. So I don't like when I get like that, and I wish that I could just learn to kind of take a moment, breathe, and just like cool my temper before I talk to people. But other than that, I don't think I have a temper generally, but when I just kind of get really stressed. Okay, number 9, on the flip side, what would I never change about myself? Something I like about myself is that, I feel like I am empathetic and kind of non-judgmental towards other people. Obviously, everyone judges people and judges things in the world. I think in general though, I've always tried to kind of look at people with an open mind and look at all perspectives and try to kind of see where people are coming from when it comes to arguments or when it comes to why people are doing certain things. So I like that part about me. Can I confidently say that the path I am on in life right now is the one that I and no one else would want for myself? I don't really seek others' like validation on what I want to do or what path I should go down. And I think a lot of that stems from my parents. My parents were always just supportive of anything I wanted to do. They never kind of tried to sway me in a different direction. My parents just always kind of said, like, whatever I want to do, just do your best at it. So I think that really helped me to like learn how to do things on my own and not check and make sure that I'm like pleasing other people. It's the year 2040, where am I? So I'll probably be I'll be 41 in 2040, 41 years old. I would say married, have a couple kids, a couple houses would be nice, and yeah, just kind of living life with my husband and maybe traveling the world, hopefully working in a job that I want, hopefully doing YouTube or something kind of more creative rather than just an office job. Am I a morning person or a night owl? Definitely morning person. Would I consider myself to be more creative or more logical? Probably more creative, but I can be logical when I need to be. I think just naturally I am more excited about being creative, but it takes a little bit more effort, but I can be logical. What can I do to be a healthier person? So I tend to be a healthy person, or I try to be a healthy person. I try to watch what I eat. I try to drink lots of water, go on walks, and I try to work out on a regular basis. But something I never do is meditate, and this is something I have tried to do it before, and I'm a little too impatient with it, which I know that's like the whole point of meditation, is to like work to be more present and work through the impatience. But yeah, I don't know, I just haven't been able to do it. If time and money were no object, what would I do with my life? I would love to just have a bunch of homes in different areas of the world, bop around with my kids, my husband, my dogs, my animals, and yeah, I would love that. Is it all about luck or hard work? Mostly hard work, but it also takes a little bit of luck. I think if you put in the hard work, you will eventually come across a little bit of luck or some kind of handout or some kind of just meant to be moment, and the luck can kind of like accelerate you a lot quicker, but mostly hard work. Should I live with no regrets or learn from my mistakes? Probably learn from your mistakes. How would I describe myself in only 5 words? Shy, humorous, self-aware, driven, and dependable. Is that the word? Dependable. Family first, true or false? In my case, yes, true, but I don't think that works for all cases. If you have a shitty family, or your family is not good to you or just toxic for you, then no, not family first. Can discipline be learned? Yes, very much so. But once again, I think this is one of those things where you have to learn that on your own. You can't have somebody drill it into your head or teach you if you're not open to it. How could people be a better friend to me? I don't really know. I don't think that's an issue. I have pretty good friends. I'm getting married right now, and I just graduated from college, so a lot of my focus is kind of in a transition period where I'm spending a lot of time kind of building a family, building a life, and trying to get a new career. So I would say just understanding that I'm not always available, but I will be available if you give me like couple business days notice. Okay, and then how could I be a better friend to people? So I would say on the flip side is I wish I was more the type to be kind of like drop things for my friends and just be there in a jiffy, but sometimes I think I put my needs over my friends' needs, because I get too caught up in my routine, too caught up in my own life to be there for my friends when they need me. Is conformity a good thing or a bad thing? It depends on the situation. How can I improve dialogue and communication with those I deeply disagree with? So something I've been trying to learn is that, sorry, I keep playing my hair. Something I've been trying to learn is that you don't need to be married to your ideas. And I think once I understood that concept, it makes it a lot easier to just listen to people and kind of be more open to what they're saying, and it kind of separates you from your idea or your perspective. And also just you kind of have to understand, like, do I love this person, or is this person important enough to me where we can disagree on this and we can still move on and like have laughter and have happiness in our relationship? Or am I feel so strongly about this topic that it's like a deal breaker when this person disagrees with me? Is trust always earned, or is it given until it's broken? I would say I typically give it to people until it's broken. I think, but then once it is broken, once you break my barrier of trust, I kind of just am like, see you for your true colors, and I kind of tend to back away from the relationship. Do I ghost people, or do I give them a reason for breaking ties? I don't necessarily do either of those. I kind of like, because I've never really had a relationship where it's ended because of like direct conflict, but I have had relationships where a friend and I will just be going two completely different paths. So in those situations, I recognize it, and I kind of just, I don't see it as a good or a bad thing. It's just kind of like, we're just drifting apart, and you're over there, I'm over here, and that's okay. So I kind of will just tend to like naturally not reach out as much, or our schedules don't align, or we're just so far apart from each other, like literally physically far apart from each other, that it just it's not natural anymore to be hanging out. So I would say I kind of just let it naturally happen, but I don't intentionally ghost people either. How do I show I am angry? So pretty much most of my anger goes out towards my fiance, and typically I will pout and do the silent treatment, which is very childish, but that's just how it is. If I could go anywhere in the world, where would I go? Tuscany, Paris, Portugal, where else? I would love to go to Ireland, New Zealand, all those gorgeous places. Is work-life balance important to me? Yes, it is. I definitely would say it is nowadays because I was in school for the past 5 years. I went to college and I worked that entire time that I was in college. And for part of that time, I was working as a full-time employee and I was a full-time student. And so basically for the past 5 years, I've had zero work-life balance. I was basically working from morning to night every single day. And now that I'm just doing work and no school, it has completely changed my life. It's made me so much less stressed, and I can see it physically and mentally for me. So I feel like now that I've noticed that, for the rest of my life, I needed to make it a priority to have more of a balance. What is one part of my life that I miss and why? I would say I probably just miss like living with my parents, and when my brother and sister lived with me too, or lived, like my whole family lived together. I have siblings that are I think like 10 and 12 years older than me. So by the time I was 10, they were basically moved out of our house. And I just remember how fun it would be to like have family dinners together and just go down and hang out with my sister, go hang out with my brother and his friends. And yeah, it was just so fun. And I would love to just not even go back, but just to kind of be a fly on the wall at that time and just see how my family lived back then. What are elements from that time that I could incorporate into my present? Probably just to reach out to my siblings and my family more. My brother, his wife, kids, they're all coming to my apartment in a couple weeks. I visit with my parents quite a bit. If I could have one talent, what would it be? Definitely being musically gifted. I would love to be a singer, songwriter, guitar player. That would be my dream. What's more important to me, self-respect or being right? Self-respect. Okay, we're on to the last question. When I die, what do I want to be remembered for? Shoot. Down to earth, genuine, being kind, showing up for people when they need me, being a super mom, and being a great wife. So just kind of really focusing on my family and making sure I'm there for everyone, while also being kind and just kind of being myself. So yeah, there's all the questions. I skipped a few, like I said, just because some of them were a little repetitive, or I don't know, I just thought they were kind of like, I didn't really know how to answer them quickly. But I think this is a really good idea if you want to take these questions and like maybe use them as journal prompts, or I don't know, just kind of read through them, or read through them with a significant other or friends and see what everyone else thinks. So these are good conversation starters. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I know this was kind of a different video than I normally post, but hopefully it can help you to learn a little bit more about me. And if you liked it, then you can go check out my other videos. You can subscribe. I will have my Instagram, TikTok, everything linked down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day wherever you are. And yeah, leave a comment down below. Love you. Bye.